Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is March 1st. Happy first day of meteorological spring to everybody out there. Although you would not know it by looking at the satellite imagery here. You can see all our cold air aloft continuing to pour back into the state. Big impacts, blizzard conditions, high winds. We got small hail. We got thunderstorm potential as well. We'll dive into all that as we go through the video here this morning. Taking a look at the Doppler radar overlay, you can see all of this cold air cumulus still yet to go, pouring back into the state, piling up across the Sierra Nevada. You could see some wintry precipitation down to the higher hills, or even some small hail down to the sea level areas across some of the Bay Area. So if you're going out and about across the coastal range down through Southern California, things are going to be quite raw and cool out there. And now taking a look here at Eureka, just a reminder, those low snow levels are coming in here as we go through this weekend here, folks, down to 1,000 feet. And some of the small hail showers can go all the way down to the surface. Thunderstorm potential as well. There's going to be other people out on the road. Keep that in the back of your mind. Want to put off your travel if you can avoid it. Now, looking at the wind advisory for some of the Bay Area, the coastal ranges here, goes through tomorrow morning. And like I said earlier, we've got big winds all across the state, especially the higher terrain. So this goes through 10 a.m. tomorrow, like I mentioned. The high surf advisory goes through 4 p.m. tomorrow, but it's probably going to continue on longer than that. Large breaking waves up to 20 feet. I would consider this all the way up the coast of California into Oregon and all the way down through Southern California for the next few days. Stay off the rocks and jetties. Do not turn your back on the ocean. Keep your pets and children out of the surf zone. Now, the snowfall forecast, not much has changed. Big mountain snows, lowering snow levels, absolutely extreme travel conditions. You have some blowing snow up there that can really cover the road even right after a snowplow comes across. So you may not even be able to see the road. So do not travel. Check the roads before you go if you have to drive out and about. And this is the blizzard conditions here. Again, huge snows, big winds, and extreme impacts out there. And the red is where the blizzard warnings are currently. Now, light to moderate rain tonight through Sunday through Southern California. You could see some wintry precip in the form of snow down towards I-5 and the Grapevine. The lowering snow levels here as we go Saturday night through Sunday. Some gusty winds out there. And they uptick to some of the rainfall here across some of the foothills and mountains. So you could still get some mud and rock slides in some of the canyon roads. So heads up for that if you're traveling around. And like I said, the high surf is going to be going all the way down through Southern California. Strong rip currents, longshore currents, minor flooding, some beach areas, and you guys know the drill. Now, taking a look at the peak wind gusts, look at some of the higher terrain, some just ridiculous wind gusts coming in here. Watch out, Highway 10 and 15 coming out of the Los Angeles to San Diego metro areas, Interstate 8 as well. Big winds incoming here. That's going to go on for the Mojave Desert, some of Las Vegas as well, and of course the higher terrain. And now the rainfall, check it out, not bad precipitation amounts actually across some of the very saturated areas there up in the mountains, lesser amounts across the Los Angeles metro and San Diego, as you see, and lesser amounts as you go east of the mountains. But looking at the waves here, I want to show you how they're increasing on the day to day, and then it's going to continue to be elevated as we go through tomorrow. And then all the way on and through Sunday as well before we finally start to get a break. Maybe as we go through the mid and early portions of next week, we'll continue to watch that. Maybe another system out there. But, some pretty big wave action up down the coastline here today and on through tomorrow and possibly Sunday as well. Strong wind gusts does include Tehachapi there and some of the Grapevine. Check that out. I-5 going northbound. Watch out for those strong winds. Blizzard warnings, just kind of giving you the reminder there that it does exist for the Sierra Nevada, southern Sierra Nevada, 4 to 8 feet above 6,000 and big wind gusts out there. This goes all the way through Sunday morning. You guys do not travel unless it is an emergency. National Weather Service Reno calling attention to that as well. So across some of the northern areas here, this goes all the way through Sunday morning. Life-threatening conditions expected by Friday night through Saturday AM. So that is tonight. It's going to get really crazy up there. Light, fluffy snow can easily blow back over the road, and you may not even be able to see the road. Or, you might not even be able to see the hood of your car in some of these instances. So do not travel if you don't have to. High wind warning. Check it out. Las Vegas, potentially up to 60 miles per hour in some very windy conditions. Look at Death Valley gusting 50 there also. So, yeah, crazy winds coming across the area. Now, looking at day 1 through 3, just driving the point home here, you can see the extreme impacts across some of Northern California and the Sierra Nevada. Do not travel, again, if you don't have to. Current hazards, just kind of showing you the high wind watches and warnings that are in effect. Actually, these are actually warnings all the way down through Southern California, through the peninsular ranges here and some of the transverse ranges, Mojave Desert, and big winds incoming here. Now, taking a look at what is a blizzard: sustained winds or frequent gusts greater than 35 miles per hour, considerable falling and or blowing snow, frequently reducing visibility to less than a quarter mile for 3 hours. So some areas are going to be exceeding that for a couple days, not just 3 hours here. So a little bit of Blizzard 101 for you. And remember, you can check things like Caltrans to make sure, check roadway conditions out there, and don't expect I-80 to be open, for much of this time during the storm. It's probably going to be closed for extended periods of time. I think it's technically open right now, but the going is extremely slow going across there. I can't even imagine trying to get across right now. So avoid that if you can. Now, day 1 thunderstorm outlook, you can see it includes central and northern California. Day 2, and the coastal range here as well. This may be expanded a little bit here. We'll see how it goes. But there is a thunderstorm threat out there with all the cold air cumulus off the coastline. Now, taking a look at 100-meter wind speeds, you can see these strong winds are going to continue on in through the day across the Sierra Nevada. Actually pick up tonight and tomorrow morning. So that might be the actual worst time for blizzard conditions across a lot of the Sierra Nevada. And look at these strong winds just drop down across the Mojave Desert, some of southern Nevada, northern Arizona, and portions of Utah, the transverse ranges here, and down through the peninsula ranges also. Big time winds as you go on in through Saturday night, and that kind of continues on as we finally start to relaxing a little bit as we go through Sunday. But there may be another system right on the heels of that as we go on in through the day Monday and on in through Tuesday morning. You can see another system shaping up out here for some gusty winds, maybe the coastal areas down through the Bay Area, another round of some moderate rainfall as well, and hopefully you don't have any flooding concerns out of that, but it could most notably keep that precipitation going in the form of snow all the way on in through the midweek period coming up here. So let's look at 5,000 feet, just kind of showing you guys the European and the GFS great model agreement. They've been lockstep here for the last few days, just showing this very cold air continuing to stream into the area. And finally, maybe you're starting to wrap up here a bit on Monday night, but then another system showing up on both the GFS and the European as we go through the mid portion of the week coming up here. So we'll explore those impacts as we go day by day in more detail. I want to show you at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet here, the polar lobe just setting up shop here right off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, ushering in the very cold air down into the state of California. And then you can see that secondary system forming on the backside of that here as we go on into the mid portion next week. So active February and early March looks like it's going to be continuing here, folks, and more on that here later in the video. Now, looking at 300 millibars, check out that jet stream right off the coastline of West Alaska and the Bering Sea back into the state of California. You just picture perfect there for mountain snowmaking, and then maybe that secondary system swinging in here. And actually, it looks like it starts to interact a bit with that subtropical jet as well. So we'll have to watch that one closely. Taking a look here. Now, this is the GFS hot off the presses 12Z run. So these are 3-hour chunks. And this is actually back up there. So about 10 a.m., this is when I'm doing the briefing right now. These are 3-hour chunks, 6, 9, 12, 18, 21, 24 hours here. We're looking out and it's just still snowing moderately, at least at times across the Sierra Nevada. Now we're all the way on and through Sunday morning. We start to relax the precipitation amounts a bit, but you notice they don't stop completely. And then we start to bring this next system in here on the GFS, and it keeps some of that snow going all the way on and through portions of Wednesday. And the European is a little bit better developed with that low pressure center out there as well. So yeah, interesting stuff. We'll have to watch that secondary system closely. And now actually, let me update this. I think the actual 12Z is running, and it is. Let's take a look at that. Put that into motion, and you can see we're going through 3-hour chunks here as well, and we're snowing all the way on in through Sunday morning now. We're now into Sunday afternoon. It continues to snow for some portions, but the amounts and the rate will lighten up somewhat, and then the next system starts going on here, and we start to go into Monday and check it out. Look at this low pressure center here, just spreading more moisture back into the state, and we'll see what that frontal system does. And we'll be watching this for the next few days, so don't get too caught up in that just yet, but that's something to look forward to. Looking at the North American model here, so let's scroll through this. This is total snow 10-to-1 ratio. You can see some of the snow getting down to some lower elevations here across some of the Bay Area. So heads up for that, hikers. If you're out and about driving around, and some of the small hail showers could actually get down towards the surface. So just kind of a heads up on the wintry precipitation. And if we go through Southern California here, you can see the higher terrain getting some snowfall there as well as we go on in through. This is about Sunday morning wrapped up there, and then we go through Sunday afternoon. Again, you can see those snow totals there across the higher terrain. Northern California, this kind of includes central as well, but this is snow depth in inches. This is last night's European run, and you can see we're just doing a great job of building that snowpack here, and you can see how the lower snow levels, really the first time this year, we're getting some of those better lower snow levels here across some of the Sierra Nevada, and you can really see that extend out towards the coastal range here as well. We're not expecting it at sea level or anything like that, but you can see we're building up some pretty good snow here as we go through Monday afternoon. Wider view of things here, and this is the GFS, so let's scroll through here, and you can see those nice snowfall amounts that do exist across Sierra Nevada. Actually, let's back up to the start of this here too, because it doesn't really do it justice what I just showed you. So put that into motion. You can see the snow building here as we go through the weekend there. It's going to be very nice as we go on to spring and summertime to have that snowpack there, because snow melts slower. If you put a bunch of rainfall across the Sierra Nevada, it's not the same as snow, because this snow has a chance to soak into the ground a little bit better. Of course, the water runoff from it melts slower, and it kind of seeps into the soil a little bit better versus if you just dump heavy rainfall in an area that mainly runs off. So the snowpack is extremely beneficial compared to rainfall. Now, looking at apparent temperature, I want to show you this, the raw conditions here. Again, we're just pumping this cold air in here, and this takes wind chill into account, but check it out as you go on in through tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. Look at these raw conditions. It's going to feel like the lower 30s here across, mid 30s across Sacramento, a lot of the Bay Area out there. And again, just kind of drawing attention to some of the dangerous conditions there across the Sierra Nevada. These wind chills are going to be sub-zero here as we go through the next few days. And then we start to scroll into Sunday here, and we do start to relax things a little bit, but still going to be quite cold, especially across the higher terrain. And then the possibility of another system after that. So Donner Summit, you can see the snow level starting to go down here as we go on into tomorrow morning. We're starting to drop things below 4, maybe below 3,000 feet here. And again, piling up the huge snowfall amounts in the meantime. Echo Pass, it shows there as well. And Tioga Pass, something similar there, starts dropping below 4,000 feet here as we go through tomorrow morning. And look at this, some of these webcams. This is just a mess. I mean, I don't know. You need to be a professional if you're going to be going out there. Some kind of extreme emergency. I don't know. You can, some of the webcams you can't even really see out of too much. And there's 395 as well. And this was issued yesterday, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. You can see much of the West Coast below normal here. To March 10th is 6 to 10 day, and we can remain potentially stormy here as we go through March 10th. And this is the 8 to 14 day, something similar all the way through mid-March, and the precipitation. This was also issued yesterday, a new monthly temperature outlook. This is for March 2024, and check it out. The Southwest below average here, and check out the precipitation chances includes much of California being above average. So, we'll watch that, and we break it down day by day, but this is kind of something interesting to look at when considering the future. And they also have the risk of heavy snow. Check it out, March 8th through March 12th. So little fantasy stuff there, and maybe the risk of high winds as well. But yeah, storm rages on. Here we go. Blizzard conditions. Don't travel if you don't have to. Enjoy it out there. And hopefully we're building up the nice snowpack across the Sierra Nevada. Looks like we are. And what else? I work the next couple of days. There's a chance I may come down to California and maybe document some of the big snowfalls that happen after the storm subsides, and maybe do some drone footage of what's going on out there and whatnot. Just one of the possibilities here. But anyway, I hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We will do this again tomorrow, and check out that storm system on the back side of all this activity here going through the weekend. And I will talk to you guys then.